I just continually recover as I go. So I really think that this just adds to my my recovery. Like I have sponsees that I work with. I have my my meetings that I go to every week. I have a whole community of people that are amazing that I hang out with that are AA people. This is not like change that, it just adds to it. So like if you're in something, like say you are in Weight Watchers and you like it, and you're like, I have a whole group of people who like I love to hang out with on Tuesday at my Weight Watchers meeting, but you're also feeling pulled to do the Dana Lee project. We're not going to tell you have to quit something. We're not going to say, oh, this makes you happy. No, that's the point. Like if this is what makes you happy and this is what's helping you grow, then do it. But the debate is that that's your story. That's your perfect day. My perfect day doesn't have that. And that's why this is different than everything else.
And it comes in layers and stages. You know, it's like we have, we want to hold on to what's comfortable in our whoopee. So if you're like, okay, but I know Weight Watchers and I'm comfortable in that, but I still I do want to learn how to love myself in this process. I feel like there is something missing. Just keep exploring that, and you make decisions on your own when you're ready to morph maybe some other program you had followed, like Weight Watchers or intermittent fasting or keto or like anything. I mean, we've been dieting since the 90s, so come on, like low fat, like the cabbage diet, the cleanses, whatever it is. But you know, you find ways to decide on your own terms of what you want to change and let go. And, you know, and I have a whole module around food because it's layered. We got to learn about emotions and our thought process before we even get to food, you know? So there's a whole process to that to help you compound for you to really understand it and for you to get your own power back to trust yourself around food, you know? That is definitely something I promise you working together in this program. I promise you will trust yourself. So,
yeah. Or at least want to.
Yeah. You start to want
to. Yeah. There's like that, oh, wait a minute. Wait a second. I might know what's best for me and not this guy guru somewhere telling me that I have to. Oh my gosh. Before I found Dana, I used to do the whole, I'm supposed to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm supposed to drink my water and lemon, and I'm supposed to exercise before 7 and write like all these things that I thought I was supposed to do. And then as soon as I was like, as soon as I was like given permission, I guess, to like do what I wanted to do to feel good, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't have to do all those things. Oh my God. Cause I already feel like a failure before I get up. Cause I know I don't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. That is just not me.
Exactly. If it is you, fantastic, amazing. You found something that works for you. But if you're fighting against trying to like square peg round hole and I'm trying to be like everyone else, because everyone says this is how you be successful. So I'm trying to do the thing, but I'm like, bleary eyed. I don't really want to do it. You know, fighting against yourself, then, you know, I don't know. I just will tell you that at this stage in my life, you know, I run a business, I invented a product. I love my work. That regimented 5 o'clock in the morning thing that I used to do too, wasn't as big of a needle mover for me in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I still kept my ambition. I still am passionate about my work. I'm still love my relationship with my husband. I still get I get a better night's sleep because I'm not hitting that alarm to just get up anyway and cut myself off asleep, because this is what successful people do. Yeah. They only sleep 5 hours a day. I was like, what if I abandon all of that? But I did piece by piece, because my first step is, okay, I'm not going to diet anymore. That was my story of like, enough. Cannot diet. It's like you had to give up. I cannot drink alcohol. Like this. Yeah. Right? So the parallel there is like, I can't diet. The dieting to me was like alcoholism. It was like this whole addictive behavior to like, it was very toxic and very harmful. And when I made that decision, all this other awesomeness came up, and I really got to know myself and came back to myself. And
now the thing that people are going to ask, because I'm thinking it right off the bat, is okay, shit, Dana, say I gave up dieting, just like you said. I'm going to gain all this weight because I just don't trust myself. I know that if I give up dieting, it means, what did giving up dieting actually mean to you? Because obviously you're very fit.
So that's actually part of the other thing that you may not want to hear, but I also was like, I'm willing to gain weight. And for me to come to terms with that, I had such fat fear. I was so petrified of it for so many years, but it was my jail. That was jail for me. So I was like, what if I allowed myself to gain weight? Because I think I really ultimately trusted that if I loved myself, that has to be the answer. It has to be the answer. So if that's the end goal, how can I just completely like go off the rails and stay off the rails? That didn't really make sense to me. So I was like, what if I legitimately am willing to gain the weight? And to be honest with you, maybe it was 10 or 15 pounds. I don't know, because the other promise I had was I wasn't going to step on the scale. I'm not going to torture myself. It doesn't matter, because love has no weight. I'm like, I'm going to let that go. And ultimately it came back off because I wasn't abusing, overeating, binging. Like that was like not happening. And I also share, your body hears everything your mind says. So as I was kinder to myself, my body would respond to that, you know? So it was like, that was like, I don't want to be the mean girl to myself anymore, you know? So that was also part of the equation of not just the excess calories I was consuming. No, I was legitimately being kinder to myself.
Yeah. So you went off the rails, but you went off the rails, but you went into your own lane. So you basically, you didn't just like, you gave up dieting with all the rules, but you still ate healthy because you loved yourself. You still exercised because you loved yourself. It wasn't because of everyone's rules. And I think that that's something that freaks people out. Like, wait a second.
The other thing is, when I'm like, and this is in my roadmap to food freedom, was giving permission. You know, if I gave myself permission to have the binge, and I gave myself permission to have, I would say donut. I didn't even really like donuts. So that was interesting in the process. I gave myself permission to eat the donuts. And then when I was sitting down to eat donut, I'm like, oh, I don't even really like these. So that's part of the process of the binges became fewer and farther between, because I was like discerning about, I love a good chocolate chip cookie, but now it's got to check all the boxes. Like if it's too sweet or it's too caramel, like I'm such a basic bitch with that. I want a good chocolate chip cookie. Like I like dark chocolate. I want it to be a little kind of gooey. So I'm not just going to settle and eat all like the Chips Ahoy cookies, for example. They don't do it for me. So over time, that's what happened. So I realized that I allowed myself to explore, gave myself permission. And then over time, I was like, I'm eating this. I don't even really like it. I'm eating this and I don't even really like it. I'm just doing it because it was the habit of the binge. But then I was also at the same time doing the hard work, which is setting boundaries, finding how I really feel. How do I want to communicate? I'm not shutting down. So it has to happen simultaneously.
Yes.
Like, you can't just make it all about the food and I'm only going to deal with my binge eating behavior and not deal with my feelings and speaking out my truth and having tough conversations and maybe having to leave a job. And I had to do that stuff. I had to do those hard things at the same time that I was exploring food.